short to medium length hair, salt and pepper.
Okay. You don't recognize anybody on that?
No, none of these people look familiar to me. Should they?
If they don't, they don't.
I mean, honestly,
The guy that came over with the bucket truck doesn't look like any of those pictured there, right?
not that I can tell, no.
Okay.
I mean, no, honestly. I mean,
Okay.
they don't look familiar. Do you have another set of pictures?
Nope. No, that's the pictures we have. So, you said that the first time you heard of this incident was when Pam told you, correct?
Yeah, I didn't see it on the
And
news.
you were
or
still
anything.
offshore when that occurred?
When what occurred?
When she called you?
No, I was at the dock when she called me.
Okay, so you weren't offshore, but you were in town.
No, I was in
I'm
town.
not sure where the dock is.
It's in Louisiana.
Okay, okay. So that's where you come into shore from offshore? Where your work site is, I guess?
We had come in from the rig, yes.
Okay. And at that time, did you go home afterwards, or?
No.
Okay. Did you discuss it at length on the phone?
She was freaking out.
Okay. So tell me about the conversation.
She just said that something bizarre had happened, and she thought that it was gang related.
Okay.
I don't know.
She say, hey, something bizarre happened. I think it's gang related. That didn't tell me what the conversation entailed.
She didn't even tell me what had happened. She said you needed. She said go watch the news, or see if you can get online.
She give you any more details than that? I
No.
mean, you can go online and it could be some bizarre thing happen in India.
No.
I mean,
She said it was something. She said it was in town.
okay.
She tell you Patrick was involved?
No.
Did you go online and look?
No, I couldn't get online.
Okay. And then when was the next time you talked to her about it?
The next afternoon when I got off. I was working midnight till noon, so I would call her before I would go on watch, and then when I got off watch, after I got out of it, I would go take a shower, and I would call her usually between 12:30 and 1 if we were still at the dock.
Okay, and what was that conversation about?
By then, I think, now you're asking me to put things in a time frame, and I'm not sure about the time frame, really. I think by then, Patrick had already been questioned, Patrick and his father both, I think.
Hugh, when we're sitting in here, and you're the state attorney. You got given this limited immunity, and they gave you this deal. And the condition of that was that you would be honest with us.
I'm trying to be honest.
and
I'm being
tell us
honest
stuff.
with you.
Okay. Well, here's the question. Tell me everything you know about that incident.
About that incident?
Sure.
Overall?
About the killing of the boy? Yes, from start to finish. Would that be easier? Because I feel like I'm in here pulling teeth to drag stuff out of it. I feel like you're being evasive the whole time.
I'm not. I don't know. I don't know.
Okay. Well, when I talk to people in conversations, I expect, hey, when I ask a question, you're kind of going around it. It's like you're trying to hold something back. And I just want to know what you know. I mean, that's basically what the state attorney said. Hey,
She didn't tell me.
Let us know what you know.
She didn't tell me anything on the phone.
Okay.
The first time I talked to her, she didn't say anything about anybody being involved.
Well, let's get to the part where she did tell you.
She didn't even tell me what had happened.
All right. Well, let's get to the part where she does tell you who's involved and does tell you about the incident. Tell us when that took place and how that went down and what she told you.
That was the second or third conversation I had with her.
Okay. Tell us about that second or third conversation. What day was it on? Do you remember?
No, I don't remember what day it was.
Sure. Was it by phone or was it in person?
You've never worked offshore, have you?
I haven't.
Now, there's only 2 days that are important.
Starting and ended.
The day you get off and the day you have to go back.
Okay.
Those are the only 2 days that count.
Okay.
Right, the rest of the time is either work time or off time.
Okay. So let's talk about that second or third conversation and what she tells you about it. Tell me what she said.
She said that they had picked up Patrick, or they had questioned Patrick and his father. And if I remember correctly, that you were holding Patrick's father for hindering an investigation or obstruction of justice or something.
Okay, go on.
And then she was freaking out about Patrick even about being involved in it.
Okay, well, tell us about that. How was she involved in it?
No, about Patrick being involved in it.
Okay, so go on.
She was freaking out about that. The man's been in our home. I mean, he came to me and asked me what I thought, and I said, no, I think it's a bad idea.
Okay. So didn't you immediately, when you learned the details of this, and that they were questioning him about the killing of the Billings, that hey, he told me about a hit being put out on somebody and wanted to know if I wanted
I didn't
help.
even know who it was.
Okay. So he told you about a hit on somebody, you didn't know who it was, but he's being questioned for killing a couple of people, and it didn't ring a bing, no bell went, hey, I bet it's that hit that he was talking to me about and asked me to be involved in. That didn't come up?
Well, yeah, it did.
Okay, so did you mention that to your wife? Or was she already aware of the opportunity you passed on?
She was aware of the opportunity I passed on.
Okay, so she was aware of
I
that
told her,
situation too,
But
right?
I told her I didn't want to be involved in anything.
Sure, but she knew about it, so did y'all discuss that? Say, oh yeah, Patrick had offered me to help him, off somebody. Did that come up in conversation?
He didn't offer, that's not what he offered me.
Okay, he offered you taking of a robbery that also involved killing.
That was not my part of it.
Okay, well your part of it was the robbery part,
Or
right?
to offer advice, or,
Right during the planning? Your stage would have been planning?
just to offer him insight. And I told him, look, man, this is stupid.
Okay, you own that 1974 Buick
1971.
GS. 71 GS, right?
Yes.
Do you have a problem if we look in that vehicle? We actually need to get in there to find this weapon you advised us about. You have a problem with us going in it?
No.
Okay. What I want to have here is, this is a consent to search. It's got some stuff to it. It's going to be very similar to what I read to you earlier. I'm going to date and time it and all that good stuff. And that'll give us permission from you to enter into this vehicle to recover possibly a murder weapon. Okay? I'm going to first date it, 7/15/09. The time right now is 7:27 p.m. We're here at the Scannon County Sheriff's Office. His rights, which I'm sure your lawyer could advise you of, but before you consent to a search, you are advised that your rights as follows. You do not have to consent to a search of yourself or your property. In this case, we're talking about your property. If you do consent to such search, any evidence observed or obtained by such search can be used against you in a court of law. If you refuse to consent to such search, your refusal cannot be used against you. Unless you consent to such search, we cannot search you or your property without probable cause, except upon the authority of a search warrant issued by a judge or a proper court authorizing the search. A search warrant will not be issued except upon an affidavit setting forth the facts which constitute legally sufficient probable cause for issuance of such search warrant. You have the right to talk to a lawyer for advice before consenting to such search. If you cannot afford a lawyer, one will be appointed to advise you. The waiver says that you have read this statement shown about, oh, you have your reading glasses now. I'll let you read that.
I'll need a point of clarification.
Sure.
That will probably need to come from Bill or Greg, which is because the information about the gun came as a result of this discussion,
Sure.
for which he has use immunity. I need to know whether the immunity attaches to the gun.
Okay,
Does that make
I'm
sense?
sure. Yeah, absolutely. Did y'all hear the question? Can we get consultation from them? This is being observed, so we'll find out.
Oh, I'm sure I'm going to be world famous before the night's over.
I'll go see if I can expedite that. Bobby, if you see.